go off it, as you can see, because I'm only level 160. But in the game, except legendary weapons, like it's a tier list. You probably know what that is by now. So we won't be ranking any legendary weapons because that you should pick them up. I just can't use it. But like devotion or peacekeeper, give me. Right, so we're just going to go through every different type of gun here. So we're going to go from assault rifles to pistols, and I've got a tier list next to me. Starting off, the first weapon is the flatline. So the flatline for me, oh no, so this is my opinion, and I know a lot of people rank the wingman the best gun in the game. Not for me, I just can't use pistols, so don't get offended. Or use special snowflakes. Right, so the flatline comes in today. It is a very good assault rifle. The thing that probably keeps it off S tier, I'd say, is probably its slower fire rate. It still can crack shields quite easily. It is a very good gun. It can be used in endgame. So I've done the way I've done it here. This is S to F. So like S is always used. A is can be used. There's not many guns better than it. B is guns that are guns you can't use in endgame, but there's guns that you could use over it. C is guns you could possibly use, but there's a lot more guns that should be used in endgame. D is a start game gun that's fine. D is a kind of start game to middle game. E is like just start game, and F is just pick up. Don't pick it up at all. So as I explained, probably should explain that at the start, sorry, but yeah. So I think the flatline is probably an A tier for me, and I think it's maybe an A tier for a lot of other people. The G7 scouted, so I put it in a base, like just one tier lower. It used to be classed as a sniper, but it's been moved to an assault rifle, as many of you probably know. I think the reason I put it down is because it's not bad. At a decent range, it's good. But the iron sights on it, if you don't have the scope, can be very hard to aim with and shoot. Well, not shoot, you can just spam the trigger. But you know what I mean. It is a tap fire. If you can get double tap on it, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it because it's really needed. If you have an EV8 or G7, if you're choosing between them, if you have a double tap, take an EV8. If you don't, use G7. Or if you have both those guns, save the double tap for the EV8. I would put it in a B tier mostly because it can be used in a game weapon. I have used it before, but it's just, I wouldn't, if I had like an R99 or an R301, I would rather use that, so that's why it's going in B. Next up we have the Hemlock, and I know a lot of people are going to be pissed at this, but I put it in C because I can't use burst weapons in this game. They annoy me so much. I don't know why, it's just the fact I'm terrible with them. But it's just going there because I can't use burst weapons. There's nothing against it. If I knew how to use them, I'm sure it'd probably be about an A or maybe even an S. But it's like, but I can't. Oh, and also these are guns are being judged off their standard edition. They've got no hop-ups, no sights, no standard stocks, no attachments at all. So you'll see an example later on, which I'll explain as the Prowler, which is an SMG. So next one we have the R301. It's solid S tier. It's just, I love it so much. It's just, it can crack. I love the skin I have on it as well. I'm not actually judging off skins, but a crack shield. It's basically like a longer ranged, a little bit slower firing version of the R99, but still crack shields at a range. Like if you had an R301 and an R99, that's a decent combo, even though you are losing more light ammo, but it means you can carry more. The R301, use the R99 up close and then switch to this one, because the R301 has a very fast fire rate, well, a decently fast fire rate, but it's not just as fast as the R99. But at a range, the R301 can crack shield because it has a bigger mag as well and it doesn't go down as quickly. Then we have the Havoc, and I put the Havoc, I'm pretty sure, yeah, B tier. So the Havoc is a good gun if you get the charge of gold, but the problem is if someone jumps you, they can start shooting if they don't have if they have an automatic gun that automatically starts firing. The Havoc takes time to charge up. If the charge up wasn't there, which I know it has to be because the Havoc beams whenever it's charged up, this would be an S tier, would be like most OP gun in the game. But it's good the charge up is like a 2-second charge up or so. So it gives the enemy a chance to actually survive. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. It can be used as an endgame thing, endgame gun. If you charge it up and hopefully the person comes around the corner as soon as it starts firing, you can crack them. Because whenever it's firing, it can crack shields in about 2 to 3 seconds, which is very good, maybe 4, I don't know. But it's going in B just because of the fact of the charge up, which does bring it down a bit. But that's to be expected because if you didn't have the charge up on it, it would just crack shields and health and kill people within maybe 6 seconds if they don't move. So that's why it's going to B tier. So that is the assault rifles. We'll move on to the submachine guns now. So you have the alternator. I've put the alternator at D tier. Rather had disruptor rounds. When it did, it was OP. It would have been at least an A. But because we're not judging off hobbles or anything like that, and the fact they're not in the game anymore, it has to go D. It's an okay starting weapon, maybe to mid game I'd say. Definitely not. I wouldn't recommend it for endgame. Like all these guns can be used at an endgame and you can win. But if you want the highest chance of winning, I wouldn't recommend using this alternator. The alternator is a good gun. I think it's just the low damage output that really annoys it. It's got a decent fire rate. It takes light ammo, but so does the R99. The R99 is definitely a lot better SMG than the alternator. So I think that's why I put it at D so low down. I won't be doing tier lists on hops and all that stuff because most of them don't even really change it for me. They either make the gun worse or they make it really OP. So then we're moving on to the Prowler now. I was talking about the Prowler earlier. So the Prowler I've put in C tier with the Hemlock. So both burst weapons in the game have gone into C tier. If I was judging with hop-ups, the Prowler would be an A, if not S tier for me, because with the, it puts out the same amount of damage, I'm pretty sure, as it does in Burst, and Burst does a decent amount of damage, you can hit shots. Literally, the only reason it's in C is I can't use Burst weapons. That's the only problem, really, with it for me. Like, I know a lot of people like it, and they like using Burst, but I just don't like the feel of it. Because I don't really like I like holding down the trigger and having a full man go. I don't like holding it down, having to race it and do all that stuff with it. So that's why it's going in C tier with the Hemlock, because I don't necessarily think burst weapons are bad. They can definitely crack shields, but for me, that's why they go in C tier. That's why I'm not putting them any lower, because they can offer. I have used a Prowler before, but that was with the select fire receiver, so that's why I won't have used it in endgame. But people have used it a lot, and so they've used the Hemlock a lot well. In endgame as well. R99, simple S tier. It shreds, crack shields, does a decent bit of health. You have this and even double tap EV, you're basically set. Crack them with the R99 and then go in with the EV8 then for like maybe 2 shots or 3. If I'm being honest, even a Mastiff, if the EV has double tap, take R99 EV. If it doesn't, maybe take a Mastiff. It depends. Or you can even double tap their shade and then crack them, but I'd better to use the R99 instead of I think all the freaking internet quality is terrible. You're probably not going to say anything, but you'll probably still hear me talking. So that's what I was saying. If you have an EV8 and with double tap, definitely take this one. You can use them whatever you really want to kill somebody, but I would personally use R99 crack shields to get a bit of their health, and then double tap them with the EV8, which would be very good, for getting kills in the game. It's a very good combo, because certain guns go each other and other ones don't necessarily go with each other. For example, a sniper and a shotgun, like in the mode, yes, in the armed mode, don't necessarily go. You do have a long range, and then you have a short range, but you don't necessarily have a medium range. The only 2 guns I have in S tier are the R31 and the R99. It's not coincidence, they're light ammo guns, they're just the main guns I use, really. If I'm using an R301 and a Prowler with select fire, I probably will drop the Prowler for the R9, just because of the fact that the R9 just shreds more than the Prowler, and then the R301 can just come for the backup. Right, so that's enough waffling with the R99. Right, we're going on to light machine guns. So first we have the Devotion, but it's a care package weapon, so we're not talking about it. Spitfire, I've put the Spitfire in B. It has a very slow fire rate, which puts it down from A tier and S tier. But apart from that, the damage output's high. If you get an extended heavy mag on like a purple one, it can shred. It'll go quite slowly, but it is a good way to scare your enemy because it is a very powerful gun. If it had a faster fire rate, I'm sure a lot more people would use it. I think it's more the fact that it just the slow fire rate really is what puts it down F4, which is understandable because it is an LMG, they are slower firing guns, and the damage output is quite high if you get headshots a lot, and even body shots. That's why I put it in B tier, because I still do use it the odd time. Right, the L star, I put the L star in, where did it stick it? I put it in C tier. This is a gun I never use. The reason I never really use it is because it shakes your screen a lot like the Havoc, but the Havoc actually does damage, because the Havoc can be kind of used at a medium range, not too far because it's kind of a short range weapon, but the L-Star, it annoys me so much. I hate the sound of the fire and the smoke starts coming out. I hate the reload thing on it as well. I know it is like a heat gun kind of, and it takes energy ammo, but I don't care. I just don't like it. I hate the sound it makes whenever you reload, and I hate the way it steams up. I reload when I don't need to. I just don't know how to. I'm happy is no longer a care package weapon, because it would have been just disappointing to get it honestly as a care package weapon. And luckily it's not too hard to it's quite hard to find on just in the loot around the map, which is quite good, because this is a bad gun in my opinion. Has been used in some situations in game, but for me definitely not. Then that is the LMGs. Then sniper rifles, we have the longbow. I have put the longbow at B tier. I have used it at the start of games. I'm not good with snipers. I'm not good with snipers, and I'm not good with burst weapons. I'm okay with pistols. We'll get on to those later though. The longbow can be used if you don't have a scope on it and you only use iron sights. It can be good because it does 70 damage body shot. So basically, if you land, pick up one, someone tries to run and you headshot them, that's them knocked. So longbow is definitely a very efficient sniper. I have never used it in game because I just can't use snipers, and the circle's just too small anyway. But for pros who are good with sniping, the longbow is definitely a very good choice, I would say. That's why the longbow would be. Then we have the Kraber, which is a care package weapon. The triple take I have put at an A. So what the triple take can be used as a shotgun if you don't aim down sights, because it does a decent amount of damage, about 70. And I know we're not ranking off, as I said millions of times, I know we're not ranking off by the hub. If you have a precision choke on it and you use that at long range, it's so good. It's got a decent fire rate, and with the attachment on it, it's OP really at a long range, and can classify as a shotgun. It's basically like a sniper peacekeeper, put it that way, because of the precision choke if you did get it. So that's why it is an A tier. I have used it sometimes in an endgame. Most times I've lost with it, but it is still quite a decent weapon. It's the only sniper that I genuinely quite like, along with the longbow. Then we get on to the next two snipers that I hate so much. So I put the charge rifle here at A tier. I like it's kind of the way it damages people before you actually let off the massive shot. I just don't like it, honestly. I just don't like it. I like it in Titanfall. It's quite good in Titanfall for taking out Titans. But just in Apex, I don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't know why. I'm not good with it, or I don't know why. That's why it is at A tier. Probably where did I even put the Sentinel? Once we were putting it, I put the Sentinel in D tier. Okay, I'm going to swap those around. So I'm going to say the charge rifles in D tier, because the Sentinel does not deserve to be above the charge rifle. So I'd say the charge rifles in D tier. So I wouldn't it could be used from maybe start game to mid game, but then you should probably just drop it for a better gun. And then we have the Sentinel, which is the last sniper. Crap, I hate it so much. It's an A tier. I probably should have put it in F, but I'm being nice because it can be used. I think a very bad factor of it is it takes heals to charge up, and it's on a timer. It's not like it just uses up gradually when you fire it. It's always on a timer, so it'll always go down. Well, you may never even use it, but you think you might need to use it. So it's just like going with the risk. Like, okay, I'm gonna pop these shoes and hopefully I run into somebody, or hopefully I see somebody. Because you can pop the shields, right, hopefully I run into somebody. You don't run into anybody. You maybe have lost a shield cell, if you shield cells, and that could be what you need to win the game. Maybe the other guy's only on 1 HP and you would have killed him if you had that extra bit of shield that you'd lost in a previous fight. So that is probably a massive downside to it, and I don't really like the way when you fire a shot, it kind of pulls it back, and they kind of mini reloads before you have to do a full on reload. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it in A because I'm feeling nice, and just. Yeah, people can use the sniper, but for me, I just can't, because I'm not good with snipers. So next we have the EV8. EV8 I have put at, where have I stuck the EV8 here? I've put it at B tier. It can be used as a gun, a good gun for the end game, but I prefer with double tap. If I have double tap on it, I would most likely be seen using it, but if I don't, I probably will drop it eventually. It's a good gun without double tap, but double tap just really makes it amazing, honestly. I feel just like the EVA8 Fortnite, because I love Fortnite. But no, on all seriousness, it is kind of like that, but instead of holding down it'll automatically always fire. You have to always press it, and you can become a bit inconsistent with it, and that's the reason I die a lot. Like, I fire 2 kind of quick shots and I take a little break and then I fire another one, because I've been going in that momentum, then I lose the momentum and then I die to that, and the person's maybe, they're quite weak, honestly. So that is why it's in B tier, not A. Next we have the Mastiff. An all around good shotgun. It's the main gun I used in Armed and Dangerous when it came out. It's got very high damage output. The time to shoot after you fire a shot is actually quite decent. It's actually okay. I don't think it should be like hell, but I think it is decent, but for a shotgun that used to be a care package weapon. So I've put the Mastiff into A tier because it just is a really good shotgun, from being honest. Next I'm going to the Mozambique. I'm guessing you can all probably tell where that's going. F tier. It's absolutely crap. The time it was good was whenever it was the April Fools, but even then, like, I wasn't even playing them because I kind of went off Apex with that. Of course I got a whole bunch of purple skins for it. Look at the amount of blue skins I have for it. I have so many blue skins for it. I could have been on Legends and all that and other guns, but no, of course still the Mozambique. This is like the worst shot in Apex. Like, everybody thinks it is. Just everybody, even with Hammer Point. Hammer Point can bring it on a little bit for a start game weapon, but we're not ranking on hop, so without a hop up it's useless. So I just recommend not picking it up at all. Just use your fists, because it has 3 ammo, then it needs to reload, which is a little, that's very small. So you may as well just use your fists and beat the people to death. Next we have the Peacekeeper, but it is a care package weapon, so I'm not going to talk about that. Now on to the last category, which is piss. So we have the RE45. Now I have put the RE45 in C tier. I have seen people use it endgame. Just for me, it's not. I probably should put it in D tier, if I'm being honest here. But I just feel like it's got too small a mag. I don't really like the recoil on it. It has a little bit of recoil. It's a little bit too much for me. I don't like the mag size. I know you can get extended mags, but remember, I'm not ranking off extended mags. So mags on its own, I wouldn't recommend it, honestly, for endgame. I don't, because as I said, C tier is really, you can use an endgame, but there's so many other guns you'd most likely rather use. So I would probably recommend this to mid game at the most for it. So that's why I'm putting it then in C tier. Next, then we have the P2020. It's in F tier with the Mozam. They're probably the 2 worst guns in the game. P2020 with Hammer Point can be okay, but just honestly, it's not that good. Honestly, I got a decent skin for the Apex Predator skin, but apart from that, just it's not that good. Then we have the Wingman, and I put the Wingman into D tier. Now all the Sweats and Wraiths are going to be mad at me for saying this. I don't like the recoil on it. That is really it, and I find it hard to hit shots with it. I have been practicing with it, and I am starting to change my mind about it, but still at the moment, I just don't really, I still don't really feel any connection with that. I don't really feel like I'm the best, so most of the time I won't use it. I'll probably give it to my teammate who does that. But it's not a bad gun. It's not a bad gun. If you know how to use it, it can be lethal. With a Skull Piercer, you can crack shields with 1 shot if you get a headshot. You can kill them in 2 shots if you get 2 headshots. But it's just not, for me, it's just not the gun. It really just isn't. There's nothing else to really say, but I don't like using the gun because I can't aim with it. The recoil it does annoy me. I know that it's quite easy to hit with hip fire, and you can hit shots with the scope in, but I'm just not going to stop off. I just don't really like using it because I just find the recoil is annoying. So yes, that is my Apex Legends weapon tier list on how good they are without hop-ups. If you want to see a video of them ranked with hop-ups, most guns don't even have hop-ups, so I don't think I will do that, but I'm debating on whether to do a Legends tier list, because I'm pretty sure I will do one. I'll probably, and this will obviously be based on my opinion as well, of just how efficient I find them using whenever I am playing games or ranked tournaments and things like that. So yes, thanks for watching the tier list. I know it's a stream. I've been trying to work out how to make videos, just normal videos, instead of making them into streams, but I just can't. It's hard, and I can't figure it out. I'm still working on trying to get that sorted out, but we'll just have to see how it goes. Because I remember one time, the Red Dead Redemption video I did with the revolvers, I had recorded that, and that worked well because the microphone audio wasn't in. But then when I did pistols, I recorded the first time the microphone audio was in, so I had to delete those because I was just playing music and all that, and didn't really want that in it. I then recorded again, and here there's no volume. But then on the last clip there's volume. But see, the problem is it kind of got mixed up within the recording thing, because I had to go buy the gun, then go back to where I showed off the gun, then I had to go back for the pistols, because I had recorded the pistol footage. But then I kind of just stopped then, because I just kept getting mixed up. There was ones with noise or ones with not, because some of them did record better videos on PlayStation without microphone audio. I'll be able to get out more videos to you of all the pistols and all. And I know there is like a lot more revolvers and weapons that are unique weapons you can find around the map, but I'm basically only going off the ones that are in the gunsmiths practically because that just makes the video easier to make, and it just gives you a decent idea of it as I show off the stats of those guns. Because maybe you just want to play the story and you need like a decent gun, and it could be the gun you want. It might not be the new guns, because the new guns I don't believe you can customize that much. I think you might be able to, but still. So if you have any tips on how to improve video quality, please leave them down in the comments below. And that is it from me. I'll see you in a few days, maybe, or tomorrow, with a legend tier list. Well, it'll be same format from S, A, B, C, D, and E, and F. So that'll be maybe a shorter video because there's only 13 legends. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and I will see you all later.